Never Stop Learning, week 201. We're going to take a quick look at the importance for using minimal amount of anchor points in Adobe Illustrator CC 2014. All right, so here I have a blank document. I'm just going to draw out a basic segment using the line segment tool over here in the tools panel. Clicking on it once is going to activate it, so I'm just going to click and drag out a line and then hold down the shift key to make sure it's nice and straight. All right, I'm going to release that. Now we have a black stroke applied set to 1 point. All right, back over here in the tools panel, I have this guy over here. This is the width tool. You could also activate it by hitting the Shift W key combination on your keyboard. All right, I'm going to click and drag to just stretch out this stroke, and now we have a variable stroke width. Now, a lot of times when we're working with strokes, we get to a point where we need to expand these guys. This is a pretty basic stroke, but sometimes you might need to expand like a pencil profile or different brushes that ship with Adobe Illustrator. So let's do that now. Over here under Object, I'm going to scroll down to find Expand Appearance. Click on that once, and now you see we have all of these extra anchor points that we really don't need. Now, in order to find out how many anchor points I have here, I'm going to call upon a plugin by Astute Graphics. All right, over here in the window menu, I'm going to scroll down. The name of the plugin is Vector Scribe, and you can try it out for free for 14 days at astutegraphics.com. The tool that I want to use inside of Vector Scribe is called Path Scribe, and there's a panel associated with it, so let me bring that guy up. All right, over here at the top, it's showing me that we have 54 anchor points selected. So that's why I wanted to bring up the panel. It's going to give me a lot more information. All right, so we have 54 anchor points in there. Now, I'm going to grab the Path Scribe tool over here in the Tools panel, target one of these anchor points right in here. Now let's look back over here in the panel. Look at all of this information that comes along with each one of those anchor points. Over here, for this anchor point, it shows us the X and Y coordinate. Over here, this is the in handle. So this is a Bezier handle, the in handle information. This is all the information that comes with this one handle. Then we have the out handle, and that out handle has all this information right in here. All right, so if we were to export this out to CSS or SVG, think of all the additional lines of code, or when we're exporting for 3D, all the additional polygons that go along with that. So let's take a look at what happens when we export this as SVG. I'm going to go into the File menu, find Save As, and for Format, I'm going to switch it over to SVG. All right, I'm going to click Save, and that's going to bring up this window here for SVG options. Now, before I click OK, I actually want to bring up the SVG code. All right, I'm going to click on this guy, check out all of this code right here. All right, looks pretty good. I'm going to leave that one up, and I'm going to click OK. All right, so now we have this file saved off with all the extra anchor points that are not needed. Now, in Vector Scribe, Astute Graphics has an additional tool, and it's called the Smart Remove Brush. Over here in the Tools panel, if I click and hold on Path Scribe, I'll find it right here, Smart Remove Brush tool. All right, currently I have it set up to a tolerance that's going to allow me to remove these anchor points. The cool thing is I get this little red preview showing me what my shape's going to look like when I'm done. And the tolerance is going to allow me to just keep the anchor points that are needed. All right, so now when I release this mouse click, check this out. I only have 6 anchor points selected. All right, so let's see what that translates to. I'm going to come back over here into the File menu, Save As. When you click on that, I'm going to change the name to Less. All right, SVG is the format. Click on Save, and then we come back to the SVG options. Remember, before clicking OK, I want to take a look at the code. So I'll click on this. Now let's compare the code. All right, so over here on the left, you see all the extra anchor points that are not needed compared to this guy over here on the right. Which one of these two would you rather work with? All right, let me come back over here to the SVG options. I'm going to click OK to accept that. Now what I want to do is bring up the Finder so I could find that file. All right, so we have the SVGs right here. This is the original one. And it's just 2 kilobytes. Doesn't sound too crazy, but it's 2 kilobytes right in here. So let's compare it to the one with less anchor points. When I click on it, that's showing me that there's 524 bytes. So no kilobytes, just bytes. So that's a huge reduction right there. Now think about it when you start making more complex artwork, how that's going to help you out in the long run. All right, so you know we're going to reduce the file size in there. Now, if I come back over here, currently we're just dealing with 1 anchor point over here on the top. So we have this arc going over here, and we have the same arc going down over here on the bottom. Now let's say I wanted to make an adjustment to the arc on the top In this situation, I might want it a little bit more shallow. Because I only have this one anchor point right here, all I have to do is click and drag this guy down, and my adjustment's already taken care of. All right, so let me undo that. I'm going to bring back all these extra anchor points. Let's compare it to having all of these in here. The first thing I tried to do was actually just target all of the ones on the top. Now that they're selected, if I click and drag on them, I actually don't get the desired effect here. So let me undo that. Then I thought about, well, let me have to grab one of these guys at a time, like that. And then I'm starting to get what I need, but you can see how this is going to waste a lot of time here. So when we have all of these additional anchor points, I start thinking about it like when you're working with the puzzle, the more amount of puzzle pieces you have in there, the more difficult it's going to be to work with. Or like, let's say you're working on a model airplane or something like that. The difficulty level is going to be determined by how many pieces are actually in there. So with this tool, and when you're working really clean, you're able to have the least amount of anchor points for your artwork. And there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at the importance of having minimal anchor points in Adobe Illustrator CC 2014.